Thanks for the support as a channel member, Nathan Curry. Our run in the FA Trophy, also known as the Fat Cup, continues today, and we're also trying to make sure we don't bottle the league this year, which, fingers crossed and all that. Hello and welcome to part 25 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are in 5th round Fat Cup action against Salisbury, and we're also away against Banbury in the National League North. Since you were last with me, we only played a few games. One game, in fact, we beat Altrincham. This is what the league looks like. 35 games played, 73 points on the board. We're 3 points clear of South Shields, and they no longer have a game in hand. This is positive stuff. We need to keep that going as we try and secure a promotion at the third time of asking from this division. But that's not what we're worried about today. We're worried about the FA Trophy. We are getting towards the business end of this competition. Salisbury are in the National League, but they are in relegation trouble. So I'd like to think they're a team we should be capable of beating. I would love a league and cup double this season. But obviously we do have to navigate our way past supposedly better opposition today to get there. So we shall see how we get on. This is the team we're putting out there to try and get through to that next round of the Fat Cup. We've got Griffin in goal, a back four of Garrett, Morrison, Bartley and White, Buchanan at the base of the midfield, Mariah Welsh and Mundell ahead of him, and then Gibson, Plange and Williams up front. Let's get into the game, and it looks like the rest of the league is all playing today, so we might actually get ourselves into the situation over the course of this game where not only do we get into the next round of the competition, which would be lovely, but we might also be top of the league with a game in hand, which is the perfect situation to be with less than 10 games to go. Right, we are, let's show me what we can do to keep our run going. I like it. Kyle Bartley likes it. Everyone else utterly indifferent to it, but as long as Kyle's happy, I'm happy. It's always been my policies. For as long as he's been here, it's all about pleasing him because he's our star man, and that's the important thing. Salisbury, like I say, struggling. They're a team that we could potentially swap places with in the league pyramid over the course of this summer. So not only is it, what is he doing? Oh my word, what was he doing? Who's more embarrassed there? A minute into the tie. Idiot of the day. There's at least 2 contenders for the award, which should be a thing. Football matches should announce man of the match and idiot of the day, especially at non-league, because there's bound to be one. Mariah Welsh now with the free kick comes in towards Bartley. What did I tell you? You keep that man happy and he then makes you happy. If you are managing a non-league club and you get the opportunity to sign Kyle Bartley, do it, because then it just all becomes about pleasing him. Reciprocal pleasure between me and Kyle Bartley. 1-0 to Bourne. And as I was trying to say, Salisbury are a team that we could potentially be swapping places with in the pyramid. And they come down as we go up, if all goes to plan. So we kind of need to be able to beat them today to prove that getting promoted isn't going to be a poisoned chalice, because we don't want to go up and then struggle, because that'd be even worse than bottling going up every time. We've conceded a goal there, and it feels like a little bit of a soft goal to concede. We're going to have a look at the replay from the other angle. The cross comes in, Morrison heads clear, and then we just give their guy an open goal, mainly because Griffin is kind of defending nothing. Not really sure whether he's just lost sight of where the goal is. Very poor. Plange with a free kick from miles out. Finds Morrison, Gibson, apparently. And there's football commentary for you. You don't get a lot of in football commentary. But I'm sure that was Morrison. Plange plays it forward. It was Gibson. It's just Morrison's tall, much taller than him. So from the other angle, I couldn't see him. But he was hovering around behind Morrison. He's kept himself onside. And it's 2-1 to us, which is lovely stuff. I can't believe he was hiding behind Morrison. Mariah Welsh now with the corner. Again, looking for Gibson. It comes back off the crossbar, and we've won ourselves another corner. It would be lovely to grab a third goal just before half-time. I would certainly feel a lot better going into this second half if we had a couple of goals cushioned. Mariah Welsh, corner comes in. Plange can't quite get there. It falls to Mundell, who's going to look to get a cross in of his own, but in fact wins yet another corner. 7 corners now for us in this first half. They've had none. You can see which direction the pressure has been going in. Mariah Welsh, corner from the other side. kind of equally as ineffective as the in-swinger from the left. We need a better corner taker. Mariah Welsh not getting the job done often enough. Right, guard against complacency. We all know if you're winning at half time, you guard against complacency. It's one of those unwritten rules of Football Manager. They're playing a very fancy formation, a 4-4-1-1. You don't see it very often, so it feels fancy. Is that George Moncur? That is George Moncur, as in off of the Football League. That's, I guess, similar to Bartley. It's not that unusual to see. He's probably quite old now. But you don't expect to see him at this level. Buchanan is not having a very good game, but we don't really have anyone who can come on from. I guess Zach Brown could, but he's never really done a good job in that position. This is where I really want to have Sarti to come on for Williams, but we don't have him either. What we can do, though, is drop Plange out onto that right wing and then bring Randall on up front, which is a change we've made plenty of times before. We are going to bring Brown on. We're going to play him central midfield, coming on for Mundle instead. I'm tempted to drop back to a cautious mentality because we are playing against a team from a higher league, but I'm just always really wary of doing it when we're only 1 goal up. Buchanan's really not playing very well, but it's too dangerous to change him. We'll bring Ford on that left-hand side, who needs to switch to a winger. I know Gibson has scored, but he's not having an outstanding game. So we'll take him off. This is a dangerous position, and there is Moncur, who I've noticed. And because I've said his name, he's going to score a goal. It's always the way Football Manager works. Don't say the opposition players' names. Don't notice the opposition, because they notice you noticing them. For goodness sake, it's a lovely free kick as well. But it's as close as you can get without it being a penalty. It was ridiculous. And now I think we need to go a little bit more positive. Mariah Welsh finds Randall, but Randall, with the best chance of the game so far for us, heads it over. A free header inside the 6-yard box for somebody supposedly a poacher. It's got goal written all over it, but unfortunately, 'twas not the case. Are we going to a replay? I don't really want a replay. I'm not happy with your performance out there. I think we are going to a replay, though. So presumably that's going to replace the Banbury game. And this becomes a full-on Fat Cup episode. South Shields have secured a playoff spot, so they've actually gone top of the league. So it's now a role reversal. We're second in the league with a game in hand. It's the opposite of what we were with South Shields in the last episode. But we are level on points with them and almost level on goal difference. So I think we're still in a pretty strong position there. But we're going to give everyone another game in hand now, because we're going to go and play Salisbury in the replay as we try and stay in the Fat Cup. One change for the replay then. Ford comes in for Gibson as we look to just play with 2 out-and-out wingers to get the ball into Plange. It's just that's my thinking. We're playing a wing play system. Let's play with wingers. As much as we all love Gibson, he isn't a winger. He doesn't really fit into this system, which isn't ideal. I acknowledge he's one of our better players, and obviously he did score in that last game. But I think the team sacrifices a little something for not having 2 out-and-out flying wingers. So let's do the old underdogs team. See, they're not as happy about the underdogs because they know they're not really. I think we all know we let ourselves down a little bit in the first match where we probably should have won it. We're in better form, much better form than Salisbury are. We're top of the league below the one that they're at the bottom of. We're equivalent sort of quality, and I think we did play better than them, but we just didn't have anything to show for it. And I think, again, it comes back to dear old Luke Plange, who I love so much, but he's just not prolific enough in front of goal. He needs a strike partner. He needs Randall in that team with him. I need to take the plunge on Plange and Randall together. I need to go back to the 4-2-4. The only problem is every time I've tried to do it, it's led to us getting completely overwhelmed in midfield. I might need a new plan. Perhaps there's other ways to play. Perhaps I don't just have to choose between these 2 tactics. Who knows? Give the fans a good performance despite being against the odds. I like that. There's probably no fans here because we don't really have much in the way of a travelling contingent, and Salisbury's quite far away from Bourne. So I suggest we're going to be in single figures of fans, but we'll see that if we ever get a highlight in this game. Oh, 15 fans. 15 fans is a pretty good turnout. That's almost a full minibus. Still room for a cooler full of like sandwiches and stuff. So we're still good for snacks, but 15 fans. I mean, can you imagine? I can't imagine Bourne taking 15 fans away, bearing in mind where we were a few years ago, especially for an FA Trophy game that nobody really cares about. With there only being 500 Salisbury fans in the ground as well, I imagine our 15 fans are quite loud. We're taking over Salisbury. White now drifts past his man beautifully, looking for the pass, finds Mariah Welsh. It's a highlight, boys and girls. We haven't had one of these today. Ford justifying his selection now. I was hoping for a cross, but instead he gives it to Garrett, who does the crossing, and Plange with a very good header and an equally good save from the Salisbury keeper. And that has been the best chance of the game so far. But I think if things carry on in this vein much longer, we're going to take off Buchanan, bring on Randall, and go to the 4-2-4 and just risk it. It's a cup game. We've got to actually try and win it. So we're going to get Randall on up there as well. The two of them together like that. Mundell can drop back and do that. We've made this change many times before. Williams, you know what? We'll bring Gibson on the right-hand side. It gets Gibson onto the pitch. So let's have 10 minutes of passion. We've gone positive. We're going to go attack him. We don't want this to go to penalties because penalties are very traumatic, and we've had enough of them this season. Plange not playing well. Goodman can apparently play up front, as can Mundell. You know what? I'm going to put Brown on and stick Mundell up there. Mundell then can, yeah, he plays as the pressing forward whenever I usually stick him up there. We can do that. And thinking ahead, if there's a penalty shootout coming, we should have kept Plange on the pitch. I've made a little bit of a mistake there, but you know, we're going for the game in normal time. We don't want a penalty shootout. We're certainly getting extra time by the looks of it. In fact, we're not. It goes straight to penalties. And this is where we might regret not having Luke Plange on the pitch anymore. How are we having so many penalty shootouts this season? I don't want it anymore. Oh, Griffin, straight away has eased a little bit of the pressure with a nice early save. If Gibson can score, which he should. He's Joe Gibson. Joe Gibson scores goals. And he scores. Excellent stuff. 1-0. 4 penalties each remaining. Griffin, continue to make yourself the hero of the day. Some fella called Burnett steps up for Salisbury and he does score. And we'll score ours as well. Garrett. Garrett looks really tall there. Is he really that tall? Maybe he should be playing centre-back rather than left-back, just based on how tall he is. You might mock me for that, but I'm pretty sure that's how centre-backs are picked in real life. They're the tall kids at primary school. They get either put at centre-back or centre-forward, and usually it's the quick, skillful ones who get to play up front or on the wing, so the big lads get put at the back. So he's probably played there many times before. Ford stepping up now with the opportunity to put us 3-2 up with 2 penalties remaining. He does exactly that. Salisbury have scored 2 of theirs. We've scored all 3 of ours. And it would be very nice to get another save from Griffin here because it really does start to ease some of the pressure if he can. But that is one of the better penalties you'll ever see in a game of Football Manager. Randall stepping up now to reassert our advantage as we go into the final penalty each. Randall, and he misses, and it's now 3-3 as we approach the final penalties. And now Griffin has to do something fancy again, or our final penalty take, which I think is Mariah Welsh, is going to be under all sorts of pressure. He doesn't make the save, and I think this is Mariah Welsh coming up. Is it? Is that who it is? Do we get to find out? The game's taking its time. We've lost this. It's not. It's Kyle Bartley. We'll be fine. Kyle Bartley, we pleased him. He pleases us. Did we please him? I don't know if we pleased Kyle Bartley before the game. We'll find out in a moment. If we pleased him, he's about to please me. Kyle? We didn't please Kyle Bartley, which means he hasn't pleased us. Well, no Fat Cup for us this season. Hold your heads up high, lads. We should have won it. We absolutely should have won that. It is a little bit of a worry as we are in a promotion push that apparently we're not as good as one of the worst teams in the division above. But I guess it does allow us to refocus in on the league now for the rest of the season because it's all we've got left. We are level on points for South Shields. We've got a game in hand over them. Do we have to play them? We do. Right. So we are definitely going to be back tomorrow. We'll definitely be back tomorrow, but we're definitely going to play South Shields in that episode. Depending on the shape of the other matches between now and then, we'll either do like a 2-day season finale and do Curzon Ashton and South Shields, followed by Russell and Stafford, Or if we could actually get promotion against South Shields, we'll probably just do South Shields and Rushall, and we'll figure it out. But we'll definitely be playing South Shields tomorrow, which is effectively going to be a title decider because we're both so far ahead of everybody else. And it's the 3rd season in a row we've been in a breakaway group of 2. Please let us get promoted this year. Please. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.